I'm going to play something that might make your blood boil. This is Wajahat Ali, a New York Times columnist. I've heard him way too many times. Overall, he's a dope. But he said the quiet part out loud, so sit back and listen to this guy.
You have lost. You lost. The mistake that you made is you let us in the first place. See, that's the thing with brown people. And I'm going to say this as a brown person. There's a lot of us. Like a lot. There's like 1.2 billion in India. There's more than 200 million in Pakistan. There's like 170 million in Bangladesh. Those are just the people there. I'm even talking about the folks who are expats or immigrants. There's a bunch of us. And we breed. We're a breeding people. And the problem is you let us in 1965. There were a few of us beforehand. But once you let one of us in, you know what happens with brown folks? Our grandmother comes, our grandfather comes, our uncle comes, our aunt comes, our cousin comes, our second cousin comes, our third cousin comes. Then we have kids, a bunch of kids. And then guess what? Some white women, you know, the Western civilization women, the pure women, the American women, quote unquote, the Rust Belt women, the real women, they like some of us brown folks. We don't take them. They come to us. So we're embedded. We are everywhere. We are everywhere. I've traveled this country. I'm going to speak as a brown person. Brown people are everywhere. There will be a Patel motel or there will be a Desi restaurant everywhere. I want you to realize this. You have lost. Your story is a shitty story filled with misery. It's filled with bland chicken. It's filled with terrible, terrible dry ass meat. Your music sucks. All your culture sucks. Nobody. That's why the kids like listen to black people and their music. That's why the kids love Latinos. Your parties suck because they're monochromatic. Our parties have better food, better music, better looking women.
Wow. You know what? You just gave voice to the reason that Donald Trump exists politically. Remember when the Democrats say that the Great Replacement theory is purely racist, and then they brag about it like Wajahat just did? You lost. You lost, white people. We're the superior culture. Despite the fact that they all end up in America. They're superior, and yet they want to come here. He denigrates American culture, American food. And I grant you, I love Thai food. I love Indian food. I love that stuff. Maybe he's right about that, but he's certainly wrong about us not being the superior culture, the same way that in Germany you had one fence separating two different ideologies and everybody moved from east to west because the ideology yielded superior results for their citizens. And somehow all of the brown people end up here. And of course it's by design because the Democrats have determined that if they import massive numbers of voters and they are deemed as the party who brought them here, then by the law of reciprocity, they will have a majority of these votes forever and thus be able to distribute the loot and the spoils of taxpayers, much as they reward their constituents in Minnesota by allowing them to commit welfare fraud, despite many, many people complaining about it and raising the red flag and waving it in front of Tim Walz, who wanted to keep the voter base. And this is the problem when you have this bloated government. And yet this horrible man, Wajahat, decides that he just says, you lost, we won. Our little plan came to fruition, and everything that the Democrats told you about the Great Replacement theory being racist, well, here you go. He's even bragging about his race. We're superior to you. We breed. Our food is better, granted, and our women are better looking. Absolutely false. I've been to India. I've been all over to every single country in Southeast Asia, and I can tell you without one doubt, as a very heterosexual male, that his statement there is wrong, but it doesn't take away from his gloating, his smugness, his own racism towards white people. He had the fact that he despises us, and this is what we import to this country. So maybe we should take him at his word and put a stop to it. Maybe we don't want more of his type that come over here. This smug little prick whose parents defrauded Microsoft, that he went to Berkeley and leveraged his tale of victimhood into all his political jobs as a writer for the New York Times, being featured on MSNBC. I've never seen him said a single thing that I thought was smart or incisive. No, he just spews out his toxic racism. And congratulations, if your goal was to get attention for yourself, if your goal was to breed actual true racism by those who want to come and take over, not to assimilate, not to be our friends, but to declare victory over those of us who were kind enough to invite you into the country. You lost, you say. Well, okay, I think that we should re-examine our immigration policy. I think that we should kick people like you out. I think that you are an ungrateful, smug, arrogant prick who lacks the brains that you think you do, way overrating your own self. But America is faced with that decision. And Donald Trump is speaking the countermeasures to exactly what this guy is saying, to exactly what's going on in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, with the Somali fraud committed against the taxpayer of Minnesota and the U.S., going some of that money to the Al-Shabaab terrorists. I don't want to denigrate Indians. I don't want to denigrate people from Southeast Asia. I've spent years living in Southeast Asia, and I love the people here, but I don't like people like you, and you represent the wokeness, this desire to destroy by any means necessary because you feel bad inside about yourself and thus want to deprive those who built, who created, who inherited the liberty and freedoms of America. And you want to import your culture here and claim superiority, but meanwhile, y'all end up here, don't you? This is the challenge that America faces, and this man is directly breeding racism that will flow against them, dividing our country. But that is what the left does. They divide because they're envious. They attack anyone who disagrees with them because they truly have the arrogance to believe that their vision of the world is the one that must be deployed. And in almost all cases, it works out for the worse. There has to be the dichotomy. There has to be the battle between conservative values, preserving the status quo, and importing and thinking of new ways to do things. This is what yields progress for society. But when you do it rapidly, you invite people like this who are so bereft of grace and humanity and just gloat about winning. You feel bad inside. So you, Wajahat, are not a winner. You are a miserable soul, and that is exemplified by your little rant. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Peace and blessings to everybody out there.